On our last video, we learned to work with an event. Let's continue creating our first object. Click on where it says Create New Object. Then, from the list, we select the event in which we want to create our object. For this case, we select the only event that we have, the Napoleonic Wars tutorial. And we click on the green button. This last action will redirect us to another window where we will write the actions of the object. At the top of the map, we have the search box that allows you to write the name or the latitude and longitude coordinates of any place of the world, and a marker will appear on the map indicating us the location that we are looking for. Example, write Mexico City and press Enter. A marker indicating the center of the place appears on the map. Another example, write these coordinates. And press Enter. The marker appears on the Eiffel Tower. The physical or virtual documents that are used to do research about the history of some object are also called references and can be added to the bibliography table of the object. To achieve this, we click on the button Add New Reference, and in the table of bibliographies, a new line appears. In that new row, we can write the corresponding reference. We repeat this process as many times as we need references. If there is a reference that you want to delete, simply erase the text in the row and leave it blank. The system will ignore that space. For our example, let's add 2 references. I will copy them from a document. Afterwards, we have to select the type of object that we are going to create. This is done by selecting on the option button that allows you to choose between normal or ghost. For this case, we will choose the normal type. This type has to be selected before adding any new row to the information table, of which we will talk later. You have to name the object, both in an internal and an external name, the same that we did to create the events. For the internal name of our example, let's say Napoleon Bon. And for the external name, let's say Napoleon Bonaparte. Both normal objects and ghosts ask for an icon to be uploaded that represents the object. From our computer, we select an image in .svg or .png format. The maximum size of the image is 64 by 64 pixels. Once we have selected the image, it will appear on a gray box. In this case, I will choose the image that represents Napoleon Bonaparte. The next step is to choose what color line that the object will have. Here, select the color of your preference. We see that the information table appears below. Above it and to the left, we see that there are 3 buttons that allows you to add rows, delete rows, and upload the information. First, add a new row to the information table by clicking Add New Row. This represents the first action of the object and has an identification number 2. If we look at the map, when we click the Add New Row button, a marker appeared on the map with the number 2. In the second column, we can add the date on which the event happened. We can put day, month, and year, as well as the hour and even the minutes in which the action happened, as long as this information is known. There are also some buttons that indicate whether the date is exact or approximate. Next, we have the columns of the latitude and longitude coordinates. The value of these columns will be changing as we drag the marker that is directly related to the ID number. Let's see how when we drag the marker on the map, the values of the coordinates change. Now follow the description column, where you can write a summary of what happened in that action. In the column named Attribution, its function is to write a subtitle or text referring to the action and is related to the URL that can be placed in the link column. The next column is called Extra Link and can be inserted as an information complement. This parameter is optional. It can be empty or it could be linked with a YouTube video or an MP3 file to listen to podcasts. Before writing information, I ask you to follow me in certain steps so that you learn to add and delete rows. Let's click on Add New Row, and then the line with the ID number 3 will appear. Here, we saw that the new line was added to the end of the table. Let's repeat this step to add the ID number 4. Now, suppose that for some mistake, we want to delete the row with the ID number 3. In the ID column of that row, let's click on the checkbox and then press the button Delete the selected row. This is going to leave us only with the ID number 2 and the ID number 4. Now, suppose that we want to add another line to the end of the table and click on Add New Row. So the ID number 5 is added. Then let's say we want to add a line between the ID number 2 and the ID number 4. We have to select the checkbox in ID number 2 and then give a click on Add New Row. In the end, we will remain with the ID in the following order: 2, 6, 4, and 5. A relevant fact is that it does not matter if the ID numbers are in this order. In the end, the system follows the order in which each row appears on the table and ignores the ID number. For our example, we are going to reproduce 4 actions of Napoleon Bonaparte. In the first row, as date, we choose February 26 of 1815. In description, let's write escapes from Elba Island. In attribution, let's write Elba Island. In the link, I'm gonna copy from my document. For the second line, we put March 20 of 1815. In description, let's write arrives to Paris. In attribution, 100 days. And for the link, we copy. In the third line, we edit the date of June 16 of 1815. In description, let's write, leads his army into battle near Ligny. In attribution, let's put Battle of Ligny. And in the link, let's copy from the document. Finally, in the fourth line, we edit the date with June 18th. (1815). Loses at the Battle of Waterloo. In attribution, Battle of Waterloo. And we copy this link. Now let's look at the map, and we'll see that the markers of the 4 rows are piled up. We will arrange them to follow the path. Let's find first the island of Elba on Livorno, Italy. We drag the first marker to that place. Then we search for Paris, France. And we drag the second line marker. Then we search for Ligny, Belgium. And let's look for Waterloo, Belgium. What we see on the map is the path that is drawn and serves as a guide to know how the object will move when it is on the map. Once we have all the writing information, we proceed to click on the Upload All Data button. That allows uploading the information. If the system does not detect any error, the information will be saved correctly. Then we click on the Edit Object button. And we can see that the object that we created is in the event. If we want to modify something, let's click on the object and then press the blue button. This brings us to the page that we already know. We can corroborate that the information already appears there. To return without saving changes, click on the button that says Return. Now, click on the button that says Click to see the information on the map. This leads you to a map that contains the information that each user has created. In this case, your information is already preloaded. Here you can see what you just created on the map. Once you have seen it, we will go back to the menu.